Babar on the Secret Planet. This is one of my favorite books ever. I loved it so much. When I was a little girl, I wrote my name in it. Kate, K-A-T-E, when I was just learning to write. Even though on the bottom here it says, to Erica from her teacher, August 1976, Mrs. Gibbons. So my sister was about 8. But I decided I liked it so much I wanted my name on it. Babar on the Secret Planet. It was a hot and sunny day in the land of elephants. Babar and Celeste decided to go for a picnic with Palm, Flora, and Alexander. Of course, Arthur went too, and Zephyr the monkey, and they were all enjoying themselves when suddenly Arthur looked up and shouted, "Look, a spaceship!" "I can see it clearly. It's going to land." But Babar only laughed. "Nonsense, Arthur. You're dreaming, my boy." "No, you're right. It's a rocket, and it's coming toward us." The rocket landed beside them with much hissing. Before they had time to realize what was happening, a great blast of air sucked them up as if they were feathers into the cabin of the rocket. The door shut behind them, and whoosh! They were swept off into space. Oh! Let's turn it a little bit. Celeste was frantic. Babar tried to comfort her, but he was worried himself and thought, "Where are we being taken? There's no pilot. The rocket must be controlled from another planet." Arthur was enraptured at the sight of the stars through the portal. Palm, Flora, and Alexander were happy. An automatic arm constantly fed them. Look at that. They're being constantly fed. Them biscuits, cookies. Oh my gosh. But even gay music broadcast in the cabin did not reassure Celeste. Happy music was playing. "How could this happen to us?" she moaned. On and on they went happily. The cabin had every comfort. They passed the moon and the planet Mars. Still the rocket shot on through space. And then one day they drew near a reddish star. "By my reckoning," said Babar, "this is the planet, not a planet known to us. I wonder what we shall find here." The rocket touched down. The doors of its own opened of its own accord. Babar went down the steps and cautiously put one foot on the ground. "Oh dear," he cried, "my shoe is stuck fast." Arthur roared with laughter. "Perhaps this planet is made of toffee." Then he called out, "Look, there are its inhabitants coming toward us. See their little land cruisers?" Driven by odd-looking creatures, some land gliders drew near the rocket. Babar abandoned his shoe and got back on the steps. These must be the people who brought the rocket here by remote control, he said, "but they don't look a bit villainous." In fact, the bizarre creatures greeted them in a most friendly way, their voices sweet as clarinets. "Celeste," said Babar, come and meet these people of this planet. They look like elephants, and yet they are not elephants. They're like elephants, but not elephants." Babar and Celeste and the children were all taken on board the land gliders and driven to platforms where the gliders were moored. Some objects shaped like flying eggs swept down from the sky, and elephants with crinkled ears sat on small seats hooked to poles beneath them. "Quick," said Babar. "Follow their example. These flying eggs must be taxis." Look at that. "Come on, Celeste," said Babar on the dangling seat. "Our turn is next." Flora and Alexander, cried Palm, Flora, and Alexander, as excited as if they were at a fair. "Look at those cool taxis on this planet." This is my favorite part. Are you ready? Look at the city. It's held up by balloons. The flying eggs rose high in the sky, carrying the Babar family to a city suspended in the air from huge red balloons. Lightly silent, it floated above the planet. "Well, that's an ingenious idea," said Babar. "How else could they prevent their houses from sinking into the sticky sand on the planet?" Celeste was so astonished she quite forgot her giddiness. Above them, Arthur called to Zephyr, "This is a super planet, isn't it, Zephyr?" They were lowered gently onto the terraces. The inhabitants ran to meet them. One of them, wearing a pointed hat, approached Babar and made an interminable speech. "Talk, tiop, tiop, pitodoi, took, dock." Another, in mushroom-shaped hat, smiled politely. Babar didn't understand a word, but he guessed that Mr. Pointed Hat was invited him to inspect the city, and he followed him down a slide. Babar said, "Next time you carry people off in a rocket, just give them fair warning." But Mr. Pointed Hat didn't understand a word Babar said either. "Look at these cool slides and ladders. It's a pretty cool book. Long, though." In Pointed Hat and Blue Mushroom's house, there was a swimming pool. "These elephants with crinkled ears have the right idea," said Arthur, plunging into the water. Palm and Alexander and Flora didn't want to swim. She had made friends with a little blue spotted dog. Babar and Celeste preferred to try and talk with Pointed Hat. It was mostly by sign language, but they managed to understand each other pretty well. And in the evening, they were shown their bedrooms. These were the alcoves in the wall. The boys easily clambered up, but Babar and Celeste were too big, so Mushroom had the water emptied from the pool. "And this is what I call a really comfortable bed," said Celeste, as she settled down. "I'm very sleepy." Look, they're sleeping in the swimming pool. Every morning, escorted by the little dog, they went with Pointed Hat and Blue Mushroom to the breakfast fountain, an automatic fountain supplying buns and soft drinks. To work it, all you had to do was push a button, but without practice it was difficult to aim straight in the drink and drink at the same time. Babar's first attempt was a disaster. Oh no, look, he got squirted in the face with drink. You have to get it right in your mouth. Babar was anxious to replace his lost shoe. He managed to make himself understood, and Pointed Hat took him to the supermarket with Arthur and Zephyr. Babar tried on the biggest pairs in the shop, but not one of them was big enough, so he took off his remaining shoes and decided to walk about in his socks. "I'll start a new fashion." Ooh. One day a magnificent fete took place. That's a party in the floating city, like a festival. The climax was a flying egg tournament. Everyone gathered on the grandstands and watched the contestants trying to knock each other down onto the trampoline. Arthur competed. He struck an adversary with his pole and knocked him over head over heels. He had won, but Arthur lost his balance, and he too fell on the trampoline. He bounced up like a ball. "Keep it up, Arthur," led Zephyr. But Arthur bounced so high he bumped into his flying egg. It swerved so suddenly that the pilot could not help colliding with a red balloon, and the balloon burst and the air hissed out of it, and Arthur fell back on the trampoline unharmed, but frightened spectators rushed screaming for safety. "Oh no, look what's happening. The balloon is deflating." The burst balloon collapsed limply, making the platform on which Babar and Celeste sat tilt dangerously. "Quick, get up the emergency ladder," shouted Babar. And everyone dashed up it to another platform. I hope I finish the book by the time it's over. Everyone went back. Oops. A siren sounded it, and up came a very odd contraption. The salvage corps had arrived to replace the burst balloon. I could do with something like that to blow up my bicycle tires, thought Zephyr. In no time at all, a new balloon had been inflated to replace the other. The platform was level again, all danger over. Everyone went back to the home of Pointed Hat and Blue Mushroom. Arthur had a big bump on his head, and he was still a bit dazed. The little dog did his best to comfort him, but the inhabitants of the planet seemed angry. They frowned and grumbled in gruff voices. Babar was worried. Perhaps they think Arthur burst the balloon on purpose, he said. Pointed Hat also seemed troubled. I'll ask him what's wrong, said Babar. We must clear this up. Are you angry? Babar asked his friends, for they could now understand each other. I'm not angry, said Pointed Hat. I know perfectly well that what happened to Arthur was an accident, but the people are furious. That could mean danger for you, Babar, and I think that you'd better go back to Earth. I shall be sorry because I brought you here to get to know you better. We must say goodbye, but perhaps we can meet again someday. At nightfall, in secret they left, but before they said farewell to the planet, Babar was given a present. An adorable blue-spotted puppy! And now the floating city was far away. Babar, Celeste, Palm, Flora, and Alexander. Oh, and Zephyr. Palm, Flora, and Alexander, Arthur, and Zephyr had been taken to the rocket by land gliders. Pointed Hat and Blue Mushroom had seen them off. Swiftly the rocket rose into the sky. Through the porthole, the Babar watched the planet grow smaller and smaller. When they got back to Celestville, their friends, who had thought them lost forever, gave them a tumultuous welcome. The blue-spotted puppy was a great success. The old lady was overcome with emotion. Whatever did they kidnap you so brutally? She asked. They knew no other way to invite us to their country, Babar told her. But now that we know them, chipped in Arthur, we can contact them, and let's hope they'll come see us in Celestville. The end. Babar on the secret planet. Ta-da! It's a really special book. I hope you liked it.